Hello and welcome to this wrap-up lecture which will now summarize the key points that I've tried to communicate to you in my course An Entrepreneur's Guide to Startup Funding. First of all, thank you very much and many congratulations to you for working through the course and for getting this far and finishing it. I would like to just summarize what the course has covered before I try to bring it all together in a few slides summarizing the key points. So in the first video we really just set out the lay of the land in terms of some of the key factors you had to consider to get started. The second lecture was really all about explaining to you the importance of communicating your vision and the importance of communication of your ideas and your vision to your potential investors. In the third slide, I introduced you to the concept of the business plan, and there's a lot of overlap here between the business plan, the document you're preparing, and the information you want to communicate when you go and pitch, and we'll summarize this in more detail towards the end. To help you, however, I did take you in lecture 4 through the core contents of the business plan, and I've actually provided you with a template which you can use to pull this together. In the fifth lecture, I talked you through the components and how to put together your financial plan, and again I've provided you with a template to help you to do that. In the sixth lecture, in part 6, I've taken you through the first part of pitching and really here talked about the content of the pitch, and you'll appreciate that a lot of the elements that go into the pitch content are things that we've talked about that you need to have in your business plan and in your financial model. In order to help you with your pitch, I have also provided you with a pitch template which you can adapt and adopt for your business so that you get the most impactful group of 10 to 13 slides. Then moving on and continuing with the theme of pitching, I've talked about the process you'll have to go through with potential investors and given you some indications of the sorts of returns and the sorts of factors they'll consider when looking for the returns that they'll want. In the next lecture, I talked to you about some of the common mistakes and some of the do's and don'ts to try to help you avoid some of the common pitfalls in the pitching exercise. And finally, I tried to explain to you in the last of these pitching lectures some of the questions you should be asking potential investors and also how to conduct a post-mortem. Trying to bring this together again to help you to focus on key elements, we then talked about the 12 things that investors are looking for. So now what I want to do is to try to bring this all together and give you a summary of the key points of the course in the form of an investor readiness summary. Now the first thing I want to look at is the elements around your business, and the first of these are external, and you will have heard me talk about these throughout the course, so hopefully this is reinforcing the points. You need to address the customer pain. You need to be clear and have researched the market you want to enter into. It's important that you have a clear understanding who your target customers are. You must be very clear who your competition is, and in terms of all this, what the barriers to entry are for the business that you want to enter into. If you then look at the internal factors, you need to have a clear explanation of your product and solution. You've got to set this into the context of the business model you're going to operate, be able to explain the strengths and relevance of your management team, have complete control and understanding of the detail of all your financials, and leading from that, have a clear idea of what your funding requirement is. Expanding that a little bit, you need to understand the amount you're going to need to raise, the uses you want to apply it to, the runway this is going to give you, the milestones you're going to anticipate meeting in the future, which will help to verify that you're actually making progress and completing and carrying out the plan that you've set out. And also it's important to consider the suitability of the investors you're talking to your own existing investors and indeed to your business and your management team. There are a whole string of key factors which overlay all this at a sort of second level, and I've been talking about them through the course, but let's just remind ourselves of what some of these are. You need to explain your vision. You need to have a clear and concise business summary. You need to be very clear and understanding at what stage your product or solution has got to. You need to be able to explain the defensibility and the sustainability of your product or solution. You have to be able to explain the traction you've achieved with customers and the momentum that has currently got. So how many more customers are you winning? Is your business scalable? Is your team capable of executing? What are the milestones that you're anticipating meeting in the future? What is your personal and your management team's track record? What is the unfair advantage that your business have? Do you have any strategic partners that you're going to be working with? Explain the margin structure of your business. And what sort of intellectual property do you have that makes your business more difficult to imitate? From the investor's point of view, there are factors such as your exit strategy, the return on their investment they will expect to get, the risks associated with your business in terms of upside and downside, the fact that you have sufficient command of the detail to impress them that you really know what you're talking about, because ultimately, as I concluded in my last lecture, investors invest in people that they know, like and trust. So if you bring all these factors together, you really need to be able to present your pitch and your approach to your investors in a number of elements. Now, the first of these, which technically isn't actually documentation, is your elevator speech, which is verbally delivered. It's the 1 minute, it's the 60-second pitch that you need to be able to make very, very punctually in order to engage with your investors. The next major element is the business plan, and I've highlighted out from this the executive summary because you can take the executive summary, make it anonymous and use it as a marketing document when you're approaching investors in the initial stage. Your business plan can be a document or it can be a PowerPoint slides, and where necessary it can have a whole string of appendices. The format is entirely up to you and what works well for your business. The financial plan, which has got a whole lecture to it on its own right, is a complex but well organized, well structured, bottom up spreadsheet which you can then run scenarios on and demonstrate all the key financial criteria that you need to deliver in order to convince investors that you're the right people to take their investment. And then finally there's the whole issue of the pitch deck, and I've separated out from this detailed handouts because your pitch deck should be, as I've explained, have very few words on it and be very punchy. And if you want to have a separate deck which has got all the detail and, if you like, a detailed set of notes, then by all means prepare that. But whatever you do, don't present that as your pitch, because you'll end up with losing the attention of your potential investors because they'll spend the entire time trying to read all the detail. Classically done in a PowerPoint or a keynote presentation, and by all means have additional appendices available to this. So that's it. Those are the document elements, and that hopefully brings the whole idea of getting yourself investor ready together. Remember that pitching is an art, not a science, and what I've tried to teach you in this course is all the different and various elements that you need to bring together to make yourself investor ready. But you need to adapt and adopt the key elements of this to make it more suitable and to organically fit it into your circumstances and your business. But remember, at the end of the day, it's the investors that you need to impress, and you only get one shot of that. So that's it. Thank you very much indeed for all your time and attention. If you have any questions, you can leave them for me here on Udemy, or by all means email me directly, john@jbdcolley.com. So I've thoroughly enjoyed having your company on this. My name is John Colley, and I hopefully will see you in a future course.